Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us today and kicking it with the Kumaars. We have something really special we get to share with you now.
Yeah, so we just found out that Astro is going to be premiering a docufilm about Malaysia's battle against COVID-19 this weekend. So we are super excited to watch it, but before that, you guys already know we are so passionate about this topic. We have been following Malaysia's success stories really closely. So Astro actually sent us a couple of key highlights from that documentary so that we can watch it right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to share those videos with you and also react to it. So let's just jump into it.
Time MCO ni, ramai orang nak tolong. And ramai orang start fundraiser. Tapi untuk orang biasa macam kita, nak figure out siapa kita nak donate tu susah. All I wanted to do was go on Twitter and collect all the different fundraisers and ways to help and put it in one thread so that it would be easy for my followers to choose where to donate. It was a hashtag I'd seen floating around online, and so I used the hashtag. It caught on, and a lot more people started using it after that.
This is where the hashtag KitaJagaKita really diterjemahkan sepenuhnya sebab that's Malaysian.
So yeah, KitaJagaKita, that's a hashtag. Actually, it's really funny because I personally didn't even know about that hashtag, and once we reacted to other stories about Malaysia's battle against COVID-19, a lot of our followers also started putting that hashtag, and I was like, I went and researched that and found out that that hashtag is used to kind of show support to Malaysians, to show solidarity with one another, and that we are united in this battle. So I really love that hashtag.
I love the story behind it. I love that it wasn't a big government initiative, but it was one person. Again, many people had used it before, it sounded like, but especially this one lady who used it, and that's where it took off from. And I just love her heart behind it too, is that she wanted to use this hashtag to share how to donate and how to help.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So props to you, Hannah, for actually consolidating and finding all these different various non-profits that other people can donate and contribute to, right? And that's a real challenge for people. You know, there are so many good-hearted people out there who wants to contribute and wants to help, who wants to give a helping hand, but they just don't know where to start. So by her consolidating and putting everything together so that it's easier for people to contribute, that's an awesome initiative.
I love that so much.
Yes.
Even when all the different signs for it were popping up, I felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So having that all in one place would probably be really helpful for people.
So kudos to her.
Bagaimana mereka yang selama ini kais pagi makan pagi, kais petang makan petang? Macam mana mereka nak hidup?
Ada satu masa, satu hari RM1 pun tak ada, tu pun ada juga. Memang susah sangat. Ingat sekarang pun macam, sebab orang tak tahu sebelum tu kita macam mana.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot imagine. I don't want to pretend like I know how Sugu Pawitra's family went through this very tough and difficult time. A lot of people now look to her success and be like, oh wow, she's a famous YouTuber now, she earns a lot of money. Not a lot of people look back about the struggle that happened before all that, right? And it's not just Sugu Pawitra, it's a lot of other Malaysians. So many people are struggling because of this pandemic. They're unable to work, they're unable to provide for their family. I just recently saw a Facebook post about another friend who rides buses for tourism, and there's obviously not a lot of people traveling into Malaysia for tourism, and so he's out of job, and so that's really heartbreaking, and that was his only sole providing piece of job that he had. He didn't have anything else to do, and he didn't have any other resources, so it's kind of heartbreaking.
So heartbreaking. My heart just broke when she said that she didn't even have a ringgit a day, and just seeing her with her children, it just, it broke me thinking about not knowing where my next meal is going to be coming from, not knowing how I'm going to provide for my family. It's just, yeah, people all over the world have been affected so tremendously by this pandemic. It's just heartbreaking.
But looking back at the first video, I'm grateful there are so many people out there who want to help, want to contribute, and so that's Malaysia in a nutshell, so I'm glad for that.
Setiap hari sudah menjadi habit.
73 kes, 95 kes, 277 kes.
Hari ini berapa kes? Hari ini berapa kematian? Apa cerita di sebalik nombor berkenaan? Apabila kita personalize, meletakkan wajah kepada nombor-nombor berkenaan. Kita sedar satu benda. We need to fight this.
It's so true. We absolutely need to fight this. And I know every day we see numbers, specific numbers of people getting COVID, numbers of people dying, numbers of people recovering, but we're not putting faces to those numbers. So it's not as real as it's supposed to be, you know, in our minds, right? But when you think about this family of this person that you know of and you see the struggles, and not just someone who has COVID-19, it could be someone who lost his job because of COVID-19, then it becomes so real. And that's how we should be thinking. Like, behind all those numbers, they're actual people. COVID-19, this pandemic, is a real thing, and we are at war.
Yeah, and like you talked about too, they're numbers, but you need the faces behind those numbers to really grasp the severity of it. You're not thinking that these are mothers and fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles affected. You're just thinking, okay, it's just a statistic, but really those mean a lot, especially to those personally affected by it, that you need to take this seriously and that you need to do your part in making a difference in fighting COVID-19.
Absolutely.
Pada fasa pertama PKP, online classroom bukanlah option bagi kami-kami yang cikgu yang mengajar di kawasan pedalaman. And then, saya terfikir, kami actually can do this. We delivered the homework and the notes to all 13 villages and 1 lodging camp kepada semua 111 pelajar kami. Each kampung jauh, jalan yang teruk, and musim hujan.
This guy is a true hero. That is dedication to bring all the homework, the textbook and everything to every single one of those students who are living in those villages in rural areas. Now that's dedication. These kids have a future because of this man. Wow, such a beautiful story.
Wow, honestly, I work with teachers and I know teachers very well, and it doesn't surprise me at all that these people went the extra mile to go and help their students, because teachers have the most beautiful hearts you'll ever meet, and just seeing what they had to go through flooded roads, through villages very far, it just amazes me. But I love that the heart behind it is to let the children continue their education. That's so amazing.
Yeah, and we talk about like frontline workers, right? And essential workers, like people in the medical field, but we don't usually think about like teachers, but they do play an important role. They keep education running, they keep educating our kids no matter what's happening. That's wow.
Even with online learning, teachers have had to go through so much to make it work, and I don't think they get enough thanks. So thank you so much, teachers out there.
Yeah, a lot of credit should go to them.
They were explaining to me that after they put on the PPE, in order to save the PPE, they will stay inside the ward, not going to toilet, not eating, not leaving the ward for 7 hours. Frontliners were texting me saying that every day after work, I reach home, I cry. I felt very depressed. I felt very down, not being able to see my family for so long. So, you know, you feel like, wow, this is a huge sacrifice, you know.
Like we've talked about before, the frontline workers made a huge difference in the fight against COVID-19, and this sacrifice of not being able to use the toilet for their long shifts, for staying inside in a hot hospital, like everything they sacrificed to help others is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and we want to continue advocating, continuously show our support and show our gratitude towards all the frontline workers, because just look at the story. This is just a little sliver of what they go through, and they've sacrificed so much for us. So the least we can do is follow the instructions that they've asked us to do and show our gratitude towards them. That's all. And we can be a part of this fight against COVID.
Assalamualaikum. Boleh saya bercakap dengan Puan Aiza? Saya dari pihak hospital. Maafkan kami, Puan Aiza. Puan Aiza juga disahkan positif COVID.
Masa tu saya panik sangat. Saya rasa jantung saya gugur. Tapi saya kata saya serahkan jiwa raga saya ni pada Allah. Bila saya solat tu, saya bayangkan ini adalah sujud saya yang terakhir. Kalau sekiranya ini adalah sujud saya yang terakhir, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa saya, ambillah saya dengan cara baik.
Oh man.
Could you imagine getting that phone call?
I mean, remember when we got tested? And just to get that phone call, it was just, my heart was beating so fast, and I had an email, Rachel had a phone call. It was just so scary to even hear the news, and obviously ours were negative, but just for someone to hear like, hey, you have COVID-19 and not know how long will you have to live. You may not recover from it. You don't know, and you could just die from it, right? So there's so many unknowns, and oh my gosh.
I can't even imagine the feeling of helplessness too. That seemed like where this lady was at as well. It's just, this may be my last prayer. This may be the last time I get to do this. Like, she had no idea whether or not she would survive.
Yeah, and that's the thing about COVID-19, right? There's so many unknowns. We just don't know about this virus that well. We don't know if we're going to recover. We don't know who's going to be affected more than others. We just don't know. And so that gives us even more fear going into it. Yeah, our thoughts are with all those people who have COVID-19 and are going through this, because it is not easy. So if you're able to lend your hand or just be there for somebody who's going through this, do your part. We all can do our part. So I think that was the last key highlight. We want to jump to, I think there's a trailer for this docufilm. So we want to like check out this trailer and end this reaction.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Setiap hari sudah menjadi habit. Hari ini berapa kes? Hari ini berapa kematian? Apa cerita di sebalik nombor berkenaan?
Demam ni on off datang. Sesak nafas. Doktor pun masa tu belum pasti lagi simptom COVID ni bagaimana.
突然间有一个医生就跑进来跟我讲，你的 test 是 positive 的。
The frontliners, every day they use up 2,000 to 3,000 sacks of PPE. That is just one hospital.
I went to New Zealand alone.
The borders were shut and he couldn't go back. He didn't have funds with him. He had no food.
So I feel very helpless when I was there.
The WhatsApp was going ting, 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 ting. Every second it was just beeping.
Online classroom bukanlah option bagi cikgu yang mengajar di kawasan pedalaman.
The frontliners were texting me saying that every day after work, I cry.
Such a wonderful boy. I do not know. I'm so teary-eyed.
Bagaimana mereka yang selama ini kais pagi makan pagi, kais petang makan petang, macam mana mereka nak hidup?
Ada satu masa, satu hari RM1 pun tak ada.
Kiranya ini adalah sujud saya terakhir. Ampunkanlah dosa-dosa saya. Ambillah saya dengan cara baik.
I was tired of feeling helpless.
And then I said, guys, please let us do the job.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Wow, I am, first and foremost, I'm really excited to watch this docufilm. Like, I want to see all the real stories that have happened and that have come out of this whole pandemic. And I think this docufilm will actually highlight that. We talked about, they're not just numbers, they are faces behind all those numbers, they're individual stories behind each of those numbers. And I'm sure this docufilm will kind of show that a little bit. It'll kind of highlight some of those stories. And we can see how real this pandemic is, how real COVID-19 is, what those stories look like.
Yeah, watching it, even though we'd seen a lot of the clips previously, watching the trailer and it all put together, it's so moving. And it made me definitely want more, to be able to see more of the stories, to be able to see more of the people, and hear just their part in it all. And like they talk about the numbers, even if one person in your life is affected by COVID-19, that's still one person. That's huge. So I'm so proud of what Malaysia's done in the fight against COVID-19, and is still fighting, honestly. There's still a fight going on, but
the battle's still going on.
Yeah, but just I love the heart of everyone coming together. And what is the hashtag again?
KitaJagaKita.
I love that so much, of everyone coming together in unity. That's so beautiful. So we're just really excited to get to watch the documentary this weekend. And if you want to watch it, you can see Malaysia versus COVID-19, hashtag KitaJagaKita, this Saturday, 12 September at 6 p.m. and you can watch it on either Astro Ria or stream it on Astro GO.
As always, guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel to check out more videos like this. Thank you for kicking in with the Kumaars today, and we really hope to see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.